Dale Earnhardt Jr. joining us. First and foremost, Dale, congratulations. So very deserving for you to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Has it set in for you yet that you're going in?
Well, it was really emotional to see my name pop up on the TV screen. I learned it right around the same time as everybody else. So that was a very, very emotional feeling that came over me, and I didn't know what to expect. And now I'm just kind of, really ready to get on my phone and reply to the text messages and celebrate with my friends and do all the things. It's like winning a race. You get a lot of text messages, and you get to feel great, and then you get to think about crafting up your speech and what might, what leads up to that. I have no idea. We've celebrated the Hall of Fame, and all of us here have been to the ceremonies before, and they're very incredible. But what does the Hall of Famer go through leading up to that ceremony? So I'm so excited to experience that with Red Farmer and Mike Stefanik's family as we go through that process. Another thing that's great about this experience, and this is it still hasn't set in for me, but I know through this experience we learned so much about these inductees and so hearing Red's story in more detail, what an incredible career he's had, and getting to know more about Mike Stefanik. We all know the numbers and the stats, but to hear the true story behind the driver and how he made his career will be a lot of fun. And that's something we get to do each year with all of the inductees, and I'm looking forward to that.
Dale, first off, congratulations on what you found out today. And what I wanted to ask you was, you're still very active in the sport, and you've accomplished a ton of things. When you look back at the 26 wins, the 15-time most popular driver, the 2 Daytona 500s, the 2 Xfinity championships, where does being inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame rank amongst those accomplishments?
At the top. I was a driver that never won a championship. And I never got to experience, at least at the Cup level. Obviously, winning this Xfinity Series championships meant a lot to me. But as we all know, I never did get to win that Cup Series championship. So I never got to experience what that's like and go to the banquet and have everyone there to celebrate that championship and at the end of the year. So this will have to take the place, the void that not winning that championship has left in my heart. This will take the place of that, and this will be the most the most emotional experience I'll have in any kind of any kind of experience in NASCAR. This is definitely the most emotional part that I've ever had. So it's just hard to put into words, I guess, where this ranks. It's so different than winning a race. It's so different than other things that you do. But anytime that you get a tip of the cap or a pat on the back from your peers, from the industry as a whole, such a great feeling. I mean, when you win on the racetrack, you win with your team. You get that affirmation in your company, but industry wide, there's only a few things that you do as a driver or an employee or anybody in the industry where you get that entire industry support. And so that's a great feeling, and you get that when you're inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's really a sort of a final signature on that career that everybody thinks you did a great job.
Dale, Drew and you just talked about the fact that your on-track numbers were great, and you did some very special things on the racetrack. What I think people fail to maybe notice sometimes is what you're doing off the racetrack, what you have done off the racetrack, the number of drivers you've helped out, myself included, throughout their careers, and the wins that you've gotten as a car owner, the championships as a car owner. Those things are continuing. And I got to be honest, I think personally those numbers, when it's all said and done, would have been enough to get into the Hall of Fame on their own. With that said, I also happen to know, because we are buddies and we hang out quite a bit, that you love the history of this sport. We sit in your basement, we'll watch races till 3 in the morning, and you'll tell me everything about all these old timers that are on there and all these legends. But I don't know if you realize this or not. You are now one of those legends. What's it going to be like the first time somebody looks at you, and maybe it's our kids that we're talking to, and we say, Dale Jr., you're a legend of this sport?
I don't think that'll ever sink in, or It'll, being a Hall of Famer, that's what I'll be known as for the rest of my life, and that'll feel great. Legends to me are there's only very few of those in the sport, and I'm just glad that I was able to, when I was racing, I realized that, I wasn't going to win as many races as Dad did. I wasn't going to win 7 championships, maybe not even 1. And I thought to myself, well, I really want to have an impact here. And if I can't do it on the racetrack the way he did, I want to have an impact somehow, and I feel like that this is confirmation that I was able to have that, leave that mark in the sport and be a positive influence on the health of the sport. Even without that much success, that legendary success. And so I am very proud of what we did on the racetrack. It's far, far more than I ever dreamed I would accomplish. And I never, ever, at any point in my young life, thought that I would be able to understand how to have a positive influence as a spokesman for the sport or ambassador for the sport. I didn't really learn that till the second half of my career. And I think that, we put a lot of pressure on these drivers, but, they all sort of assume that role as they get further into their careers of man, I am doing this for me, but I also want to make sure that I leave the sport healthy and I can do things to further the health of the sport beyond my driving career. And so I feel like that, this is good confirmation that I did leave a good mark. I did have a great impact on the sport. And that's what I wanted to do. I want to keep doing that. That's why I went into the booth. I know I could have walked away and, spent the rest of my life being a dad and huddle up in the house and not do much else. But I wanted to. I felt like that the broadcast is a critical player in how our sport's perceived and the health of the sport. Really critical. As important as the action on the track. And I felt like if I could have a small role in that, that I would take that very seriously. And that's really what I do today. I feel like that in the booth, man, we're the ones delivering that show to the fans that are watching at home. And it's really up to us what show they're seeing. And if no matter how great the action is on the racetrack, we have to show the fan that's what's happening and let them really feel that emotion. So I'm glad to be able to continue to do that, to continue to be any kind of small piece of helping the sport grow.
I got a real quick one for you, Dale. The inductees get to choose what car they unveil when they get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Oh. Any thought on which one, when they pull that cover back, it's going to be of your 2 very iconic cars you drove?
That's a tough one, man. That really is. That is a hard choice because we might have to do a split. One half red Budweiser and the other half, 88. Honestly, man, it would be tough to make that decision. I might have to think on that one for a while. Maybe the fans can chime in too and give me some advice. Maybe one of the 2 Daytona 500 winners or something like that. Or maybe we just don't even touch the Cup Series and we unveil that AC Delco car from the Busch days. I don't know, but I'm sure my fans will help me make that decision.
Well, we look forward to seeing what car you select. Dale, you talk about tip of the hats from the industry. You got 3 more from the people here on this desk. Congratulations to you. Thank you for all your contributions to the sport, both on and off the racetrack.
I really appreciate that, guys, and thanks for giving me some time on the show tonight.
This Sunday on Fox, it's the wildest ride in racing.
Here we go. Let's do it.
Live from Talladega. The Cup Series greatest let loose on the biggest,
Starting to get intense,
and baddest track in NASCAR, where control is merely an illusion. The Geico 500, live from Talladega, Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
For the best access, perspective, and personalities in all of sports, follow us at Fox Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
For more great NASCAR on Fox content, subscribe to our channel. It's somewhere right around here.